Hi, I'm Angie with National Indoor RV Centers, and today is another exciting day on the job for me. I'm here at the testing site where we are testing RettroBand again at speed on a box truck or straight truck. This is a 35-foot truck behind me. We went ahead and put an explosive device on this truck and blew the tire at speed so you could see how RettroBand performed. Now, we couldn't have a RettroBand video without the creators of RettroBand, so I've got Rob Craig and Brett Davis here with me today, and then we also have our professional truck driver, Jesse here. So come on guys, let's introduce all the players for this fun event that we got to do today.
And what an event it was.
Yes, it was. So this is Brett, Rob, and Jesse, our driver. So tell me a little bit about how we prepped the truck for the blowout today.
Well, Jesse was kind enough to put tens of thousands of pounds of ballast in the box of that truck to make sure that the front axle was at its legal maximum weight limit, which for this particular truck, I believe is 10,000 pounds.
10,000, yeah.
So basically, exactly half the weight of what was on my coach when we blew that tire.
Now this is a truck that we see every day, all day long, driving around town, delivering goods, usually probably loaded with a lot of weight. So this was key for us to test and see how it would perform with a front end blowout.
Rob and I sure thought it was, and it'll be kind of interesting to compare and contrast a 45-foot Class A diesel, 20,000 pound front axle to this box truck with 10,000 pounds. The only thing I would note is that when I was here blowing my coach tire, that was a brand spanking new coach.
I know.
This box truck is older. It does not have over the highway miles. It's got a lot of testing miles. I think it's been ridden hard and put away wet when it comes to the steering in this, but
Yeah, so yeah, this box truck is a standard straight truck. You see them all the time carrying loads down the highway. A lot of rental operators, people that are not very familiar with driving tend to rent those to move their own equipment. And so this truck specifically has a lot of test miles on it. So it's been used pretty hard over the years. And so you can guess that you'd be pretty sure that the front end steering is a little bit worn on that truck.
what I found interesting, and you'll find interesting because you've said it many times in your videos, we prefer always to blow tires at speed.
Sure.
And at speed, we like to blow them like in my coach at 70 miles an hour. Jesse had so much weight in this thing. Most I saw you could get it up to was 60 miles an hour. And then you said, let me turn off the engine fan. And by turning off the engine fan, you were able to get to 65 miles an hour with the weight you have in here. I find that interesting because you've said a number of times in your product videos that that engine fan costs you 10% of the horsepower of the engine. And boy, we sure experienced that here today.
Way to help us out with that, Jesse. So let's go ahead and cut to the footage. I know that's what you're all really here for, and see how this performed.
You never have a doubt on these tests, do you, Rob?
No, no.
I've yet to see you wear a seat belt on any of them.
Yeah.
In fact, the last one you were sitting on a cooler.
Well, at least
no seat belt.
I got a seat this time. It's even better, and it's comfortable. You got trust in the driver, and we got trust in our product. So, I guess we've got to put it on the line.
You not 65 yet, Jesse? You gonna make it?
Only 2 more to go. We're right on now.
Well, we may be blowing it in the turn, but we shall see. You 65?
Yeah. Oh, way she goes.
Whatever blew out to the right, that's the first in all these tests. I think you probably blew a chunk of tire out there.
Bits of tire still coming up. I see him in the mirror.
You weren't stingy with the explosive you put in that tire.
The tire went down.
It'll be interesting to see how much is left.
we've done this 10 or 12 times.
On test tracks.
And it's worked every time. We still can't get Angie to get in the truck.
No, I have been in for some of the test runs, and I just figure I don't need to be there for that event. I like watching from the side, and watching from the side, literally, the truck didn't move at all or veer from the lane. Did it?
No, yeah, we were got up to about 65 mile per hour and had the explosives went off, the tire blew out, and we felt a slight drop, or I felt a slight drop, and did not have to do anything with the steering wheel. We drove straight into a corner at about 55 mile per hour, and then started to look for our place to safe place to pull over.
What I think is so impressive about that is, obviously we're at a testing site, we put an explosive on the tire, they knew this was going to happen. When you're driving down the road, you don't know when it's going to happen, and instinctively, you know, I don't know that you're always prepared. You know in your head what you're supposed to do when that happens, but will you actually do it? Because you're, you know, I know I would want to hit the brakes, you know, so it's nice to know that the product performed perfectly, and Jesse, had he not been, you know, waiting for this event, would have had time to pull over to the side of the road, slow down, drive on it.
Yes, we knew there was going to be a blowout. When he's focused on trying to get to 60 miles an hour and someone else is remotely blowing that tire, he doesn't know exactly when it's going to get blown.
Right.
And in this case, it got blown just before he had to take a hairpin turn.
Yeah, it is a little tricky, and that's why I'm not in the truck when they do these tests, because they're turning right after they blow a tire.
And then secondly, where I sat when it blew, and it did blow right at my feet, I did not feel the drop at all. Not like in the coach, but then again, that front axle is half the weight of what was in the coach. What I did notice, and we later saw when we stopped, was how impressive the blowout was. They were not stingy with the explosive material.
Yeah, we heard they actually, you know, back here they were talking about how it blew pretty loud, and they were kind of joking
the second
about
it blew, out of my peripheral vision, there was a huge chunk of tire blowing out to the side. But then when we got to look at it after the fact, it was through and through. You saw daylight from the outside sidewall through the inside sidewall. It blew the tire, and the tread was just hanging there.
So how far do you feel like you could have, obviously you could have gotten to the side of the road, and you drove even further than that once the event happened?
Yeah, so after the blowout, we took the corner and immediately looking for a place to pull over and stop to inspect everything. At a low rate of speed, I think you could travel a number of miles, you know, 5-10 miles, no problem at a lower speed. At a higher speed, it's not worth the risk of damaging your equipment, right? Like Brett said, you have the rubber that comes off, the tires degrading and continuing to come apart. So you have the mobility and you have the control, but you want to reduce the risk of damage to your equipment.
So at a lower speed, you can definitely get to that next exit, get to a safe spot to pull over so that you can make the change on your tire.
Oh, absolutely. The RettroBand's made of hardened rubber. That rubber is, on the sharp ratio, much, much harder than the tire you're riding on. Mileage is not the question. You can drive as far as you want to drive. It's your willingness, how much you want to tear up your equipment.
Yeah, those tires.
With that blown tire beating your equipment.
Right, we've all seen that, what they call alligators on the road, or big pieces of tire. When you're here and you see these gentlemen like try to saw through a tire and you see all the steel that's in there, I had no idea how much steel was in a tire. So the amount of damage that can be done is massive.
And just like there's steel in the tire, we have a stainless steel band in almost the full width of the RettroBand in the RettroBand as well. It reinforces the RettroBand from twisting or turning, but at the same time it acts as a torque brake so installers can't inadvertently over tighten. It prevents that.
So most importantly, you're protecting your vehicle, your investment in the vehicle, your investment in whatever you're carrying in the vehicle, and then most importantly, you're protecting your life, because that's really what all that matters. Who cares about the vehicle if this is gone? And also the other, the other vehicles on the road and those families that are in those cars. I think, when a vehicle goes out of control, you never know what's going to happen, if it's just going to go off the road and damage your vehicle, but it could also hurt other people. So I just think the product is, I love that we vetted it and that we know that it works.
Yeah, well, we've tested the actual blowout scenario 10 or 12 times on a test facility like this one, and we need to do that so that we can get to learn about what happens to it before, during and after, any modification or any changes. You can sit down with a pen and paper all day, but there's nothing like doing the real thing.
I know how you love testing, and I do too.
And he loves data. We know that.
Well, I think what the testing does for you and I is it allows us to test the corners of the box, to go to the extremes, and to know how it'll perform in extreme conditions, not just normal conditions. But I think to me the real testament is, we give a lifetime warranty on this product.
Yep.
And from the beginning we gave that lifetime warranty because we wanted to know about every blowout. So if someone has a blowout, whether it's needed or not, and you and I both know they're not needed, we give them a brand new RettroBand because we want to know about the blowout. To date, we've had 69 Class A diesel coach owners who've had blowouts with our product, RettroBand. And without exception, every single one of them have performed exactly as in the video you and I did with my coach.
69 of them have all had the benefit.
That's right. That's 69 that haven't had damage or lost lives or, it's crazy. For me, when I see the difference between a vehicle that's had RettroBand and a vehicle that doesn't, it doesn't make any sense. Just the time and trouble and the expense you're going to be out without your vehicle, RettroBand pays for itself.
This product was developed because, as you know, in our first 7 or 8 years of business, sadly, we had a number of customers killed in blowouts, maimed, lost legs, lost limbs. As a father of 9 and a grandfather of 27, I'm never in an empty coach. And my greatest fear always was a front tire blowout. And that's how this product came into being, or the reason it came into being.
So we're back at National Indoor RV Center's headquarters here in Lewisville, Texas. You can see that we specialize in very heavy, high dollar equipment. And now we've got the tire here that we blew. We want to take a look at it and see how our RettroBand actually performed. So we want to look at the inside of that tire. I've got Brett with us, the co-founder of RettroBand, and Jack, our lead chassis tech here in Lewisville. So let's go ahead. I know everyone's waiting to see what the RettroBand looks like after this big explosion and we drove on it. So Jack, can you do the honors?
Let's do it.
With the tire off, you can now see that the RettroBand is in perfect condition, basically unscathed. It looks amazing. So I could I can't really roll it, can I, Jack?
No, but I'll show you. Looks exactly the same way it would be installed all the way around.
So the hardened rubber is perfect. The gearboxes, the steel band that gives the strength to the RettroBand, everything is perfect.
Yep. And even though it is perfect, we still will replace the whole RettroBand, gearboxes, pins, band and all, even after every, well, hopefully you don't have multiple.
Yeah, in the event of a blowout.
Any blowout, we will warranty the RettroBand.
Yeah, it's a proven product. So I love this product. If all I had to do every day was just sell RettroBand, I think it'd be the easiest product I could sell because it protects your business, your life, and it's just kind of a no-brainer to have a run flat device in there, and it just gives you peace of mind.
And everyone else around you when that tire blows.
So true, so true. So if you want to get your set of RettroBand today, just go to our website, www.retroband.com. Give us a call and you'll be on the road driving safely with no worries.